Now, bringing you the very best in New Hampshire-based local music on IPMNation.com and 100.1 The Planet, this is Local Outbreak. And joining us live in studio, we have Dan from the band Horror. Hello, sir.
Hey, it's great to be here, man. Thank you.
Yeah, welcome to the program. Looking forward to playing some of your tunes today and getting to know you a little bit. Part of why you're here, so today is kind of a theme today. We're talking to people who are going to be on this big show coming up October 19th at Terminus, our friends at Terminus in Nashua, New Hampshire. You guys are going to be playing there along with, we just had Able Blood here. Also, Questing Beast is on that show. And the Negans, Dead Harrison, of course, and that's going to be coming up October 19th. So it's wonderful to have you here. Tell us about the band. Tell us about Horror.
So me and my buddy Steve, we started it years ago. It was just a little project we were doing in high school, and as it turned out, people wanted to join. My buddy George started playing the bass for us, and then afterwards his brother Johnny, and we had a couple incarnations of lineups throughout the years, but we finally here settled on our main one now, where we're going to be going out playing shows. And this is actually our record release show at Terminus.
Oh, congratulations!
Thank you. Yeah, it's we've been working hard for years to actually get there, but
yeah,
it's going to be an awesome night. Super excited about it.
Yeah. So it's a full album?
Yeah. Oh yeah, full album.
Okay. And where did you record?
Oh, we recorded at Blackheart Sound with Eric.
Okay, Eric Sauter, yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I always say we had him on the show a few months ago, and his name. It was great to have him on because his name comes up on the show a lot. Actually, Able Blood, who was here in the first hour, their album. I think Eric they didn't record there with him, but Eric mastered the album, I believe.
Okay, yeah.
But yeah, so. And what went into the decision to do a full album? Because obviously you have options. You can do an album, you can do an EP, you can just release singles. Why did you guys decide to do a full album?
Well, we had so much material at this point. We were like, you know what? Screw it. We might as well just do the whole thing and then drop it, We collaborated with this artist, Maxime Ticardi. He makes insane artwork.
Okay.
Our album cover is actually made in his blood. Crazy stuff.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like he put his blood in the ink?
I think so. I have no idea, but I know he made it with his blood, which we thought was absolutely crazy.
Well, let's play a track, and I think we're going to move you to a different microphone. For those of you watching on video, that one needs some Levitra or something. But here, let's play a song. I'm going to play. Let's play Exorcist. I really like this one, and then we'll come back and talk about it. If you're just joining us, we have Dan from the band Horror here with us live in studio. That'll get the blood pumping. That is Exorcist, and the band is Horror, and we have Dan from Horror here in studio with us. All right, let's see how this mic is working. How you doing, Dan? I can't hear you, and I don't know why, but let's see. Go ahead and talk. You are not there. No, you're on one of these channels.
All right.
Oh,
Oh, hello.
I found you.
Awesome.
There we go.
There I am.
There
All
we
right.
go. Yeah. If you're just joining us, we had to switch Dan to a different mic. But these things happen. But no, that mic never fails us. Jenny doesn't like it when I say that because she thinks I'm going to jinx it.
Yes, you are.
But so far, so far, that mic has been phenomenal. So, I love that. I love the time changes, especially the breakdown at the end.
Oh, yeah.
The groove on that is just truly remarkable. And so now you were saying off air while that was playing. So that's just you and Steve. Is that the drummer?
Yeah. So me and my drummer, we went into Eric's studio. We recorded the whole thing. Steve got the drums down. I did the bass, the guitars, the vocals, and Eric killed it with the production and the mastering or the mixing. It was absolutely killer.
Yeah.
But
Is that how you did the full album? Or?
yeah, it is.
Okay.
Yep, the entire album.
So the whole thing is just the two of you?
Yeah.
Oh wow, very cool. Is that a lot of pressure? Is that because you're doing? I mean, aside from the drums, you're doing everything else. I mean, that's a lot. That's a lot for one guy.
Well, it's not particularly a lot of pressure. We had a bunch of material for a while now, right? And so we had a lot of time to practice it. So everything that we did was I went into the studio, knew exactly what I needed to do for each part, just banged it out.
So in some ways, it's easier, right? Because you're not dealing with, I've played in a lot of bands, but never anything like what you're doing in terms of just, two guys going in and doing everything. So not having to deal with multiple schedules and all of that. I mean, I can see where in that sense, it's probably a lot easier, actually.
Yeah, that, and you can make it sound exactly how you want it to.
Yeah, no, that's great. Now, where does the song Exorcist, is that, were you inspired by the film or the book? Or
Oh, absolutely the film.
Yeah.
I've seen that film like 100,000 times as a
Have
kid,
you?
Oh, God, yes.
Yeah.
And, my band is based around telling horror stories and the horrors of life. Our next album is going to be about a little bit more of a realistic approach, but this album is about, the fantasy side of horror.
Yeah. A funny thing about The Exorcist for me, I think it's an incredible film, but I have a list, actually. It's a short list, but I have a list of films that I think are just some of the most just incredible theatrical accomplishments of all time that I never want to see again. You know what I mean? And that's how I feel about The Exorcist. I think it's an amazing film. Fantastic. I've seen it once, and I never want to see it again.
Oh, I get it. I totally get it.
Trying to think, what is it? Requiem for a Dream? Is that?
God, Requiem for a Dream.
You know the film? Yeah.
Uh-huh.
That's another one that's on my list.
I saw that one once. So yeah,
great,
I'm good on it.
Great film. I would recommend it to anybody.
Absolutely.
I'm never watching it again.
No.
Who writes the songs? Do you write everything, or does Steve help you with that?
We both write them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Steve does the drums. He'll give me ideas for guitars and solos and whatnot, and I'll write my parts.
Yeah.
But now that we have two new members, we got our bassist Will about a little over a year ago, and dude's been killing it. One of the greatest bassists I've ever met in my entire life.
No kidding.
Awesome guy, awesome musician, and we had just recently, within the past 2 months, got a new guitarist named Cody Parsons.
Okay.
He also plays with a band called Martial Law. Awesome group, awesome bunch of guys. I've known them for a long, long time.
Yeah.
But now that we're all writing together, it sounds totally different,
Really?
but in the same vein. It's really, really cool.
Yeah. Now, why did you bring in these other guys initially for live shows? Or?
Initially, yeah.
Yeah.
And I wanted to see like how it would go writing with them and everything, and I love it.
Yeah.
It's really cool to be able to write with like a group of people, because writing with Steve's awesome.
Yeah.
But getting more input, different perspectives, different musical backgrounds from people, it's absolutely killer.
It's good that you're able to do that and embrace it, because not everyone can. Some people are kind of not necessarily selfish, but some people can't just, or it's hard for them to really kind of open that up.
Right.
So it's great that you're able to do that. Before these other guys joined the band, did you ever do any live shows, just you and Steve? Did you ever try to pull that off, or with I don't know how you would even do it, but maybe with backing tracks or something. But.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, we didn't have money, for like an amplifier at that point, like, So shows were super far out of our heads. Once we did get our bassist, Johnny, years ago, we played a couple of shows. It was usually down like way Southern Mass.
Okay.
We only played a couple, but with this new incarnation of horror, we played one show with a guitarist we were working with for a little bit named Brandon, and I forget where it was exactly, but it went really well. It was an awesome show. We met the band Vincent Crowley. They were awesome guys, and it was a really fun time.
Yeah. When these when new people come into the band, I imagine it takes a little bit of time for them to learn everything. I mean,
sure.
It's fairly sophisticated, and also too, with what you're doing, and that song "Exorcist" is a great example. I mean, you've really got to have your chops because it's time changes and
sure,
just really, it's complex. It's not 3-chord verse chorus
right,
rock and roll.
Yeah.
So I'd imagine they've really got to spend some time.
It's
learning.
funny. It's funny you say that because with the musicians that I have now, it almost took them no time at all.
That's awesome.
They sat down, they learned it. I was blown away.
Yeah.
Will learned it really fast. Cody, I mean, he's recording bands. He has his own studio. He's doing all this stuff, and he still banged out the entire album in
kidding.
like a month. It was absolutely killer.
Oh, that's great.
Oh yeah,
that's great. Are all the songs? Well, let me ask it this way: is there a theme to the album? I mean, you talked about what the subject matter is. Is that is there a story to the album, or are they all just kind of about like what you described earlier?
Well, some songs are just kind of about horror in general. Like Black Widow. We have about Countess Bathory, Exorcist, about the Exorcist.
Yeah.
Then we have songs like Darkness and Agony, which are about depression and really that dark place. That really dark mental place that you get, especially when you feel hopeless, feel like everything's falling apart for you. You know? And I wanted to take that and put it into music as well as I could.
Yeah.
So the horrors of life.
Is that something that you deal with?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Yep. Depression, mental health issues, I think are very, very much looked over, underfunded. It's awful,
That's something that we discuss a lot on the show, and we have actually for years, because so I'm pretty open about it now. I haven't always been, but I also struggle with depression. Who was it? We had somebody on the show. Who did we have on the show last week? We were talking about the same thing. Music
Dr.
about.
B.
Oh no, it was. I'm sorry, it was Everfelt. I was thinking of a band. I don't know if you know this band Everfelt. They're from Illinois. They Skyped in, but they write a lot about that kind of thing too. And
right.
But it's also their music is kind of dark, but they have more of a psychedelic metal thing going.
Oh, that's cool.
But we were talking about with Adam Seglich, the singer, about how he likes the music to be really dark, even though the lyrics are actually quite hopeful, because his approach is, you're in this dark tunnel. I want to meet you there. I want to meet you where you are to bring you this message of hope. And he described it as a tunnel, and I was like, yeah, I can relate to that. I can relate to all of that.
That's a lot happier than the way I went.
No, but you're right, though. I mean, these things are not addressed enough. And there's a lot of stigma around all of that. So, and another thing we talk about a lot on the show is when you can take these terrible things and create something with them. So you're taking something negative, but you're creating something positive with it.
Right.
And that's, to me, that's the best therapy, right?
Absolutely.
If you can use these things that drag us down, or traumatic events, or whatever it is, but then create with that.
Yeah.
That's the best way to deal with it.
Yeah, exactly. I want to touch upon some more themes in this upcoming album too. It's very much so along those lines. Like I said, straying less away from the vampires, ghouls, goblins type stuff, and more into the what people deal with and what's going on, and not in so much of a political sense, but more just in in everyday life type of thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we should play another track from the album. Is there one that you're pushing as kind of a single? Or?
Well, our first single was Necromancer. I think the best one to play, I'd say, Let's hear Black Widow.
Black Widow? Okay.
Yeah.
Any kind of a story behind this one?
Well, this one's the one about Countess Bathory. Huge inspirations from bands like Venom, bands like Macabre, and I absolutely love this song. It's one of our heavier ones on the album for sure.
Okay. All right, cool. All right, get ready. It's going to get even heavier. This is Black Widow. The band is Horror. That is Black Widow. The band is Horror, and we have Dan from the band Horror here with us live in studio on this Saturday morning. They're going to be playing a big show coming up October 19th at Terminus in Nashua, New Hampshire, which is an amazing venue. You've been there already, right, Dan?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I tell everybody when you walk in the first time, it's like walking into another world.
It is.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the place is awesome.
Yeah.
And I practice there as well with my band.
Oh, you do?
in the
Okay.
Same building. Yep.
Oh,
Yep. So it's a pretty easy commute.
yeah. Abel Blood, our first guest that we had on in hour one, they also practice there. Yeah, no, it's a great location. I love that. I mean, part of what I really like about your sound is, you can do it's fast, it's heavy, but it's also very melodic.
Yeah.
You can really kind of find the groove in it, because a lot of bands that operate in this particular genre really aren't that melodic. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. So I think that's really cool. And I assume that's important to you.
It is. It's quite important.
Yeah.
We want to be able to have our songs be as heavy as possible, but also have that nice melody with it.
Yeah.
Something to like be able to pleasantly listen to,
Right.
Without it just being like grindcore.
Yeah. Yeah. You've got some fast fingers too. How old were you when you started playing guitar?
I was 12.
Yeah.
I'm 27 now.
So you started pretty young. Yeah. Was it always your goal to be able to play like that, to be able to play really fast?
Yes. Ever since I saw or heard Buckethead on Guitar Hero 2, I knew that
Oh, no kidding.
he
Yeah.
would be my favorite. And then I found out about the likes of Paul Gilbert, Yngwie Malmsteen, and it just blew up from there.
Yeah.
Never looked back.
Yeah. Was that your first instrument?
A guitar, yeah.
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 And then from there, you also learned bass, obviously. And
Yeah, I taught myself bass. I'm not a very good bassist, but I can play a little bit.
Yeah.
My very first guitar I actually won from a Lego sweepstakes, man.
Really?
Yeah, it was a Bionicle sweepstakes with the All-American Rejects. I think I was like, God, I must have been like 8, 9, and I just so happened to win it. It was this junky Chinese guitar with a Lego sticker slapped on it.
No kidding.
Yep. Then
Wow.
yeah, Steve sat down with the guitar one day. The cable was poking out, crushed it into the guitar. I had to throw it away.
Oh, that's funny. Wow. Now, I'm really curious about your vocals, because I can't imagine what it must be like to sing that way. Are you able to, do you ever get a sore throat, or did you learn how to do it? Because from what everyone tells me, if you learn how to do it correctly, you won't have any problem. The only problem is not everyone learns how to do it correctly.
Right. See, I never learned how to really do it. I just started doing it until it was comfortable. It used to hurt.
Yeah.
Like years ago, oh God, my throat would be killing me after.
Really?
Yep. Now, if I'm not dehydrated, it's fine. But
Okay.
make sure you're hydrated, everybody.
Yeah.
You can really mess up your throat. But no, when I'm doing anything like that, it just comes out really clean. It doesn't hurt at all.
Yeah, that's good. What about when you're playing live? Do you ever run into a problem where, because you mentioned hydration, and obviously if you're playing in a hot room, that might be an issue. Does that ever?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
That's happened to me before. I was playing with this a brutal death metal band called Infected God for a while.
Okay.
And there was this one time it was at a marijuana farm. Right.
Yeah.
And I remember getting up on stage, and my throat was so dry that I was talking like this. And I get up, and I was just barking into the microphone. I couldn't do anything. I was like, "Oh, I know this sounds terrible, but we got to do it."
Yeah. Oh wow. Do your fingers ever get tired playing like that?
Oh God, no.
No, that's good. That's good. Yeah, I can't imagine what it must be like to play that way. Yeah, none of the bands that I've ever played in really, nothing really super fast. So to me, it's very impressive.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I'll spend sometimes 8 to 10 hours a day, especially at studio days, just playing essentially nonstop.
Yeah.
Yeah, it takes a lot.
How many? Do you guys have more songs that obviously, I assume as you mentioned earlier, you've got new material planned for the next album and you're writing together. Do you play anything live now that you haven't already put on this album? Or?
We're planning to.
Okay.
We got to make sure it sounds pretty good first.
Yeah.
And then we're going to be playing it live as we can.
Yeah.
So our album only really runs about 32 minutes long, I believe.
Okay.
So typically, if we're getting like a 45-minute set, we'll be able to play a bunch of songs.
Yeah.
But that's the idea for now.
Okay. Well, let's play another one. So I'm curious about this song, "Compelled to Kill." What's this about?
Compelled to Kill. That one was about Diary of a Serial Killer, which is an insane movie if you've never seen it. Or sorry, Henry, Portrait of a Serial Killer. There we go.
Okay.
Amazing movie, absolutely incredible. It follows the whole movie is through his eyes, as opposed to the people running away, the victims of the movie. It's him.
Okay.
The whole movie's him, and it's twisted.
Yeah.
Awesome stuff. And the music was heavily inspired by bands like Children of Bodom, and of course Macabre. I love them. They do everything,
Yeah.
But Children of Bodom I was in a huge kick with them for a while, and man, Alexi Laiho opened my eyes, broadened my perspectives to a lot of different stuff.
Really?
Yeah.
In what way?
Oh, the way he does melodies. There's especially like songs like Mask of Sanity, and then If You Want Peace, Prepare for War. The guitar work in these songs are unparalleled. They're amazing.
Yeah.
And I wanted to try to emulate something like that, and I'm no Alexi Laiho, so it came out different. But
yeah.
But this is a song I'm actually really proud of. One of my favorite solos I've ever written.
Oh, no kidding. Okay. Oh, very curious to hear this then. All right, let's give this a spin. If you are just joining us, we have Dan from the band Horror here with us live in studio, and this is called Compelled to Kill. I like that dramatic ending. That's cool. That is Compelled to Kill. And the band is Horror. We have Dan from the band Horror here with us live in studio. By the way, some chat room activity. Our friend Spelfy Ham is in there, of course, from Terminus, and says, hi, Dan. Hi, Matt. Hi, Jen. BF Raid says, this song is awesome.
Hell yeah.
Andre Dumont, of course, from Dead Harrison says, waking up to some horror. This show hits right in the morning spot. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Let's see. Hello to Easy Beat Society. Spelfy made a comment about what we were talking earlier about mental health. She said, facts, too much stigma around talking about mental health. Absolutely. Absolutely. Although not as much as there used to be, which is
Absolutely, yeah.
which is great.
Getting better.
It is getting better. It is getting better. Let's see. Oh, Eleanor is in the chat room. Says, I want these horror vocals inside my body.
Why?
That's an interesting way of phrasing that.
That sure is
Means
interesting.
She wants to be able to sing that way, I guess.
Let's go with that. Yeah.
I got to see Eleanor on Tuesday. I went there to meet with her and about some things and
Nice.
yeah, lots of good things going on, lots of positive things.
Oh, yeah.
Very excited. Very excited. Spelfy says, yay, the whole Terminus crew in the chat. And Andre says, oh, those vocals will be coursing through every body molecule at Terminus.
Yeah, they will. I saw your PA, man. That thing looks crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Jenny, you wanted to, you were going to tell us more about that show?
And all the bands you're hearing today, you can see live at Terminus Underground on Saturday, October 19th. Terminus is located at 134 Haynes Street in Nashua. Doors will open at 5 p.m., 21 plus BYOB. Entry is $20 and includes the haunted house and the show. So check out all the bands from today live at Terminus Underground on October 19th.
Very good, very good. And if you are listening live on Saturday, of course, coming up in the third hour, we have the Gray Curtain, a couple members joining us, I think. And really, boy, they are fascinating. What a unique sound they have.
It will be, yeah.
Really looking forward to that. Dan, tell us about your live show. I mean, do you have any effects or anything, or do you guys just play? Or
I mean, typically we just play. We don't really have like a gimmick or anything like that. It's always cool when the venue has like some stuff up. Like Terminus is just loaded with crazy stuff, like skeletons, spider webs, monsters, mayhem. You know, the whole nine. But yeah. Whenever we play, we typically just wear like what I'm wearing now: t-shirt, jeans, and just go up there and play.
I'm having visions of, the future, you guys in an arena with a big screen of all kinds of all kinds of terrible things happening on the screen while you guys are playing.
Dude, that'd be great. We want to take over the world, man.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. No, absolutely. Now, have you gotten to play with any, have you gotten to open for any of the bands? You were talking earlier about some of the bands that you really love and admire. Have you gotten to any opportunities to play with any of those bands yet, or?
Not quite.
Yeah.
I played with some really, really cool bands. Like, for instance, Permanent Disfigurement was an awesome band. I played with Infected God.
Yeah.
I had played a couple of shows with them. And Vincent Crowley was another one. They were absolutely killer guys. I knew about them prior. They're awesome music.
Yeah.
But we haven't played too many shows to be able to actually do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, for what it's worth, though, all the bands that we've played with, all of our flyers are still up on the Instagram and everything. They're all wonderful bands. There hasn't been a single band we played with where I've disliked. So
yeah.
If you guys are interested, go check them out.
Yeah.
Everyone's going to be a killer band.
Yeah. Excellent. What was the your logo? Who designed your logo?
So that's an artist named Alex Ridley.
Okay.
He's based out of Canada, an old friend of mine. I've known him for probably a decade now. And I asked him, like, hey, man, can you just make something like a bones and bloody and just see what you come up with?
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, dude, whatever. And he sent me that. And I was like, oh,
yeah,
okay, that's cool.
Yeah. I was particularly curious about it because what I like about the logo is, so a lot of the bands, again, that are in kind of your genre, they have logos with fonts kind of similar to that, but they are indecipherable to me.
Right.
But your logo, so you've got that cool kind of font, but you can read it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
See, that's what we wanted too. We didn't want it to be like, the back of a computer chair where you've been laying on it too long. It's all crinkled. We didn't want it to be something like that. We wanted people to actually read it and know who we were.
Yeah. Because there's a lot of bands. Jeez, I remember, so years ago, I don't know if you remember Strawberries, and then FYE bought it, but, the old music store there. And I just remember flipping through CDs at work or putting CDs away and just, looking at the covers of some of these bands and just, again, in that specific genre, just being like, I don't know what that says.
Yeah, some of them are unbelievable.
Yeah. It's because I'm also a marketing guy. So from my perspective, it's like, why would you want something that no one can read? But that seems to be the thing for a lot of these bands.
Yeah. I don't understand it personally, but it looks really cool. So especially seeing that live with the music, it adds a lot of atmosphere. I see why they do it, but as far as marketing goes, you're right. It ain't quite it.
Yeah. Some of those album covers too.
Like, man. Yeah.
There's a Cannibal Corpse album cover that still gives me nightmares.
Oh yeah, which one?
I don't remember the name. I've blocked it out, but yeah, probably any of them.
Any of them. That's exactly what I was thinking. Yeah.
I'm actually not even kidding when I say this. If I had to put Cannibal Corpse CDs into the bin, I would try not to look directly at the CD. I'm actually not kidding. I'm very squeamish about that. But but anyway, so the point being, though, I really like the logo. I think it's cool.
Awesome, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, what is kind of the future trajectory for you guys? So obviously, the 19th you mentioned, that's the official CD release party, correct?
Yes, it is.
And what's the name of the album, by the way? I don't know if we talked about that.
It's self-titled. It's just Horror by Horror. Yeah.
That's a good way to do it, yeah. And then, so where is that available? Are there physical copies or?
We don't have physical copies yet. I mean, we're pretty broke,
Yeah.
So no physical copies. We're working on getting some merch for this show.
Okay.
Hopefully it shows up in time. But otherwise, that's pretty much where we're at with like that kind of media.
Yeah.
As far as like streaming, we are on Apple Music, Spotify, YouTube. Definitely check out our YouTube. We're really pumping up those numbers.
Cool. Good.
But we're basically on any stream platform that you can access.
Yeah.
And we're going to continue uploading to YouTube videos, shorts, whatever it might be.
Okay.
Just kind of keep everyone updated and have a little fun, like maybe some playthrough videos and stuff like that.
I think right now that's the most important thing is, no, actually, let me rephrase that. So being on all the streaming platforms, that's the most important thing, and you've got that covered.
Sure.
But I think after that, YouTube right now is the most important thing.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I absolutely agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, it changes. Tomorrow something completely different might be the most important thing. Yeah. But right now, I think it's definitely YouTube. So that's so your numbers are growing quickly on that?
Oh, yeah. In the first 2 months, we got 15,000 without advertising at all.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, we just set up a little bit of a Google ad campaign. So the last couple of days, we've gotten like 2 or 3 more thousand. And
okay. Excellent. You're on the right track then. That's fantastic.
We're all so excited, man.
Yeah.
We want to take this as far as we can.
Absolutely. Wow, you're off to a great start. So that's amazing.
Appreciate that.
And definitely. So we're approaching the top of the hour. So in the moment, we'll play one more track. Nuke is the other one that you sent. But anything else we should know about where people should go to find you online? Obviously, we talked about the 19th, but anything else you want to make sure our listeners know about?
Yeah. So if you go to horror.band instead of .com, .band, wicked cool.
Yeah.
It'll have links to all of our social medias, Instagram, Facebook, even stuff like SoundCloud. Everything's there. And our full album on YouTube is going to be the first thing that you see right as you get onto the page.
Okay.
And I haven't updated it yet, but it's on. We have different tabs, like for instance, shows, and we have merch that you can request when it's available. And and yeah, I mean that horror.band is going to be primarily where you can find everything.
Yeah.
But as far as outside of that, just try to keep updated with our social medias and see where we're at.
Yeah, excellent. Nuke, what should we know about this?
So Nuke is fully titled Nuke the World.
Oh, okay.
It's our commentary on basically taking the position of someone pushing the big red button, just destroying everything, mutually assured destruction,
Yeah.
It's our take on how much we detest war and how we see the world going right now. The song is a tongue-in-cheek kind of take on that.
Okay.
And it's our mosh song.
Oh, no kidding. Okay. But Dan, thank you so much.
Hey, thank you for having me, man.
Absolutely. And we will close out the segment with this. This is called Nuke from the band Horror.